Okay, so I think we have everyone who's planning to attend, so I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. And first item will be to set our agenda. So, do I have any motions?
Motion.
All right, can I get a second?
So I'll second.
Okay. Next item is adoption of the minutes. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend, so I'd rather not speak to those, but from conversations with other board members, it sounds like those are mostly complete and accurate. Does anyone have any comments or concerns with those?
No, I move that we approve them as written.
I'll second that.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, so first item on our agenda is the Arbor Day Festival for 2020. We have Cassidy here, who has been heavily involved in doing a lot of the legwork in, I think, the past several years. So, okay, well, you did it so flawlessly last year. So would you like to go ahead and give us an update on where we stand right now and what support you need from the board?
Well, really, we're just getting started with the planning. Based on the notes that we had taken from last year's event, it looked like we were interested in the first Saturday in April, which is the 4th. Aside from that, just kind of looking to you guys for if you want to keep things relatively similar, ideas on other things that you want to do, hours, if you want to keep those the same, change those, safer locations, so anything like that, if you guys kind of want to guide us as to how you want it to look, we can have it.
It's the first what in April? First Saturday?
Yeah.
What did we mention last time for Arbor Day? I thought we had some notes on that.
Well, did we want to incorporate anything about Bee City?
Yes,
Is that
we
we
did
were?
talk about incorporating
That's what we
Bee
did talk
City.
Okay.
So Arbor Day will be our annual commitment that we have to
Yes.
fulfill for, okay.
Yeah.
Have we gotten any feedback on location and whether or not we think we will get more foot traffic if we walk off Main Street?
Walking off Main Street is a Cassidy thing, but I know David did say to me this past year we lost several trees in Stowe Park due to storms. So if we were going to do tree plantings, it would almost be better to do them in Stowe Park because so many got taken down.
Do we know when some of the construction going on there should be finished?
Thanksgiving for that, the area that's under construction now, and then the pavilion area will go up fairly quickly after that, so it shouldn't be anything but stretched April.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I like Stowe Park.
Yeah, I do too.
Lofton was good, but it was just the parking was a little rough. And it's more this way, I guess. And so I don't know, a little disconnected, I feel like.
The only thing, and it shouldn't conflict in any way, but just to be aware of, People More Beautiful is going to be doing their cleanup that morning. They only use the upper shelter for that, so if they wanted to have something that just incorporated the lower area and Main Street, it shouldn't conflict.
And that's kind of how it worked last year too, is because we had them move to Jordan and then.
So I haven't had the opportunity to attend in the past, but what kind of attendance is expected?
I'd say we were, what, 250 to
Yeah.
300 range.
300? Okay.
Nice.
It was a very relaxed feeling versus a lot of the hustle and bustle of the larger events. I think it was, personally, I think it was fitting for the concept
Okay.
and the subject of the event.
So Stowe Park can more than handle that kind of volume? Okay. And the parking?
Yes.
Did we say we want to have a booth there?
The
Or-
board could have a booth, absolutely. I know last year we tried to do a book drive, and that was sponsored by the board.
Marginally successful. I think messaging leading up to it could have been better. So we had several people who came and they're like, "Oh, this is great. I wish I had known. I would have brought like a whole box of books." So
And we can do it again.
I think we could do
just-
something similar, yeah, and just figure out how to get the message out prior.
Do you think we were talking about a booth for Earth Day as well, or? Remember, I'm getting it mixed up. I remember Belmont and what other town was grouping together? Cramerton was grouping together. Was that for Arbor Day or Earth Day?
It's one festival, Arbor Day and Earth Day.
Together. Okay, so that's, okay, yeah, so I think we do want a booth there then.
We could try to do that, you were talking about the recycling game with the kids.
Mhm.
That's something there. We could try to do a booth with that,
Yeah.
since it's already,
Something like that, yeah.
Something.
So put us down for a booth and we'll figure out.
I mean, how long does the event last? Is it,
Well, that was my next question. Last year we did 12 to 3.
Yeah, it's like 3
Okay.
hours.
Did we feel like that was long enough? Do we want to extend? I don't know that you want to reduce per se, but
I thought it was a good amount.
I thought it
Sure.
was good too, yeah.
we could swap off board members, so none of us have to be there all 3 hours.
Yeah, I think
Or if you
last time
wanted
we
to
did.
walk
3 hours isn't too bad anyways, yeah.
not-
But
it's not.
to be able to walk around, I think, is the good part.
Right.
Yeah.
We had the shredded truck. Do we want to bring it back? Shred it.
And remind me of that date again, please?
April 4th.
4th?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the shredded truck, we did like the ladybug ones. I thought that brought a lot of people out.
I wonder if
That was a
something
huge
maybe
hit.
Butterflies this time, you know, or
Yeah,
if we're going to keep the ladybugs.
some type of bug release.
Yeah, I definitely think playing up some of the education around the Bee City. And I think if it's in Stowe Park, I think, I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but one of the things on the annual goals was like community gardens, so maybe tying some of that in.
That would be a neat place to have a computer.
But maybe, I don't know if a lot of people are aware of it or utilize it, so.
Our community garden right over there.
Is it a mix of events and then, booths? I mean, is it, so there's an educational component of people go and
Yeah.
plant trees and also have educational, talks and activities?
Kind of mix things, the interactive, the educational, some folks with just products that they were there to sell or market, but that were environmentally friendly. So we tried to keep it pretty varied, what types of people had booths.
In the past, it has been like a traditional Belmont festival where they had like arts and crafts booths and all that, but last year, everything like it really changed. And the things that were being sold were like Lowell honey, and then everybody else had like an activity or something free to give away to the children, so it was like a coloring activity. We gave out trees, saplings, what else? I know Stormwater's out there, and they did like a visual of what happens when things are on the road and how they get into the storm system and the waterways.
Yeah.
So kind of focused more on like educational and not so much like products.
Right, right.
It was services and products.
Because I was thinking we could do, continuing from what you were saying in terms of pollinator garden, we could even have like a little mini pollinator garden, and then, the educational component ties in with the bee, city designation is that we almost have, education around what type of plants, work really well here because of our soil, that type of thing, and it's really, educate people about the, I think it's the Butterfly Highway, how you can get a certificate, and, that type of thing could be quite fun because it's interactive as opposed to just being, static, so, and I'm, I'm happy to volunteer ideas and
We have worked a lot with the Scouts last year, we had the Master Gardeners, the Master Beekeepers, they're all masters. The Gaston County Ag Center, I think we reached out to them. And then part of the city's Tree City USA thing is we have to plant a certain amount of trees. The Forestry, Nancy Forestry reps will come down and do an award presentation.
Okay.
So it's a neat event.
Does anybody sponsor, like Lowe's, could we get them to
Lowe's
sponsor
sponsored
plants?
the trees,
Okay.
Waste Pro sponsored the shredded truck, and then we had some other businesses sponsor here and there to kind of help with just the other costs, like promotional. And then they had booths at the event as
Do
well.
they? Okay.
As far as events singularly go across the board, that had the most sponsorship support that we
Yeah.
saw last year.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, and it was the Belmont Community Garden sponsored the ladybugs.
Sponsored the, I'm sorry?
The ladybug release.
Oh,
Yeah, they
yeah.
had a lot of ladybugs. And they gave it to the kids and they just let them go.
Yeah, that's
That was
lovely.
neat.
Okay. Okay, so a booth and some kind of activity that will time to be city designation.
Well, the good news is it's 6 months out, so it gives us a little planning time at least to think about other
Yeah,
things to sponsor and
yeah.
others to talk to.
Do you guys handle most of the collecting the vendors and whatnot? Okay. 'Cause I wasn't here last year when we started planning, so.
Yeah, we kind of got some guidance from you guys on what you were looking for.
Okay.
So we stock those out then based on that.
Yeah, I think we came up with like a list of target or like potential vendors and then kind of divided up between staff and board members on reaching out, so. So yeah, I mean, I think in general though, it sounds like, I mean, last year was successful, so I think it's really just kind of building on that and potentially shifting location.
Do we have a list of vendors from last year? Nice.
Yeah, and I don't know if some sort of energy company would maybe want to come and talk about like different forms of energy that are better for the environment or something. If they could do something interactive with that.
You know any
Good.
people?
I think we both do.
I think,
All three of us.
I was like, yeah, we could probably put that as part of our booth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And solar companies, I mean, if we want to, build it out into that type of stuff, I mean, they'd probably sponsor some stuff too, I would think.
I thought, at least for the north part of Belmont, isn't Duke Energy the electricity supplier? So they would have an interest in something
I think we
with
reached out
Belmont.
last year and they didn't.
I can't remember what it was, but it was like they either didn't have somebody or that we could like, didn't get them in time to schedule out or something like that. But
Why don't you let me take that one? I'll reach out to them.
I love it.
I've got contacts there.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, because we did reach out to Duke, we reached out to the Whitewater Center.
Who'd you reach out to? An arborist or someone in their lake management group maybe, or?
I just went to their main page, contact
Okay.
for our area. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds tough
And it
to
was-
even just get someone, yeah.
Is there a max number of booths that we want?
Stowe Park, we've accommodated to my knowledge up to 85.
85, so that's still
Really?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Versus how many did we have
Yeah.
last year?
We
Is it
had like
like,
15.
that's what I was gonna say, 12, 15. so-
12, 15?
Yeah.
But is no, like, the more the merrier, pretty
Yeah.
much? Okay. No, I like
We only
that.
maxed out because that park is a lot smaller. And so,
Oh,
as far
yeah.
as like places to put booths, there was very limited
And the
space.
shelter was in use as well, so.
Oh, at the same time? Yeah.
Because we
Well,
had
Belmont Beautiful was doing their cleanup,
Okay.
which we tried to
stay.
merge those efforts. not merge
Well, as
those
Danielle
efforts.
stated, the parking there can be pretty challenging.
It was troublesome.
We had gators going back and forth from the Public Works parking lot and kind of doing trips to bring people down to the park. So yes, we know how to do a festival. Doing it at the river park was a challenge.
Solid.
Although that gives some citizens the option to come in by boat.
Yeah. Lots of people can
Stowe
walk
Park
from there,
doesn't
too.
allow that.
Yeah.
Very true.
Do we have any sense yet of what involvement Cramerton plans to have?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
Because
they-
typically this is their year to host.
That's
but
what
the
I
city
thought.
wants to do their own. Yeah.
Oh,
Have you guys broken that news to them?
It's on live stream tomorrow.
okay.
Is it the same day? Do we know?
We have to reach out to them. We haven't even started
Okay.
communication with them.
We want to ensure that it's successful and something we can continue to do, so if that means we take on a little bit more, we're okay with that.
And I guess my understanding is like this is a big, April is a big month for Belmont next year.
Yes.
Yeah. It's gonna be, it's like part of a large scheme of events.
We're going to be launching something called, I shouldn't say they, I should say we, part of this. But we are launching something called Belmont Blooms. So it will really be a collection of events that are currently standing, with the addition of a few others, just to kind of have sort of a signature draw to Belmont that's centered around the connection that we have with Daniel Stowe Botanical Garden. So this will be a great fit to sort of include, so we can just tack on some additional branding.
Okay.
I hope that brings more awareness as well.
Oh, that's great. So hopefully they could have a booth and speak to some of the like native landscaping and
They were
things.
supposed to be
Yeah.
there last year too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll come back to
Do you need a contact there?
No, they, I think something came up last minute and they didn't have somebody to man their booth. So they just like, them, Whitewater Center, Carolina Metro, we just got their information and were able to give it out, but didn't have representatives from those organizations.
Okay.
Do we have like the Catawba River Keepers there?
They weren't there last year.
They were.
I don't know if they would be interested.
I think the group got involved. They held their annual fundraiser at Lofton this year, so we worked with them somehow.
Yeah, my coworker's on the board, so I'll definitely get her on board,
That'd be
for
awesome.
sure, yeah.
All right, do you feel comfortable with Arbor Day, good start?
I
Mark your calendars.
I have a question about the date, and I'm sorry to even ask, but I was just wondering, why is it that we target the first Saturday of April?
I don't know, we just really arbitrary reasons.
Okay.
Just happened.
Are you thinking of moving it later, closer
Well-
to Earth Day?
I was just thinking, I know Doug and I already bought ticket, or did you already buy
Yeah.
Cooper River Bridge Run?
Oh, I'm happy you're here.
It's the same
You're
day.
my memory, yeah.
And it's always that first Saturday in April.
It's the first Saturday. Oh,
So I was just wondering, like, not that we have to reschedule it because of we're going to be running a race, but I would rather be a part of it and be able to help and pull my weight than not. if I
Are there
could.
any other dates that have been booked for, no?
Only the last weekend in April will be our Carolina Festival, so that'll sort of kick off the spring.
So I would
season.
just suggest staying away from the 11th because that looks like it's Easter weekend.
Right.
We won't do the Easter event that day, yes.
Yeah, I mean, the 18th is open.
Yeah. And Earth Day is the 22nd and Arbor Day is the 24th. So if we did the 18th, that'd be like heading
Leading up
into
to
the-
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And probably a greater chance that it won't be freezing cold. Because sometimes we get cold early Aprils, right? So,
all right. That's
It could
the
either be
River
40
Bridge
or
Run.
80.
Thank you, Becky.
I think we already have a house too.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Oh my
sure
gosh.
that's all,
Yeah,
yeah.
you have to get those like a year in advance. so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this going to be a continuing agenda item so that we can keep fleshing out what you
Details,
need from us
yeah.
and form a plan?
yep,
Okay.
it'd be good.
But it sounds like everyone's okay with moving to the 18th, kind of planning that for now.
Yes.
Awesome.
Would we be able to get the, I know I asked this before, but could we get the list of vendors?
Yes.
Could you send them out? Okay.
Yes.
Good
I have
deal.
them here individually, but we can pull a spreadsheet and share.
Put them in a spreadsheet. Yeah, just kind of getting a feel for who's there and then like, other thoughts, like if we get 2 solar companies there, that would be neat. If we got someone that sold composting boxes, that would be neat, things like that. And just
Rain
a-
barrels or.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was somebody at the Whitewater Festival they did a demonstration on how to build your own rain barrel. And that's why I was asking whether we wanted it to be interactive, because,
Yes.
That would be
because
great.
their festival was actually pretty good. It was the sort of wellness one, but they had a lot of sessions and they were crowded. People seemed to want to be involved in learning activities, so.
That's when
I
you
thought
do
it
your
was a
best
good-
learning.
Yeah, so,
Perfect.
But yes, we've got documentation on everybody we reached out to, those were successful, bring on board and not, so we can circulate that for you guys to kind of review and edit and take some good.
that'd be great,
Cassie.
thank you.
Trying to pull up the next agenda item.
Yeah, I have it here. So, no other comments on the Arbor Day Festival. Next item is the Bee City and setting our annual goals.
Before I move on to B City, looking at my emails, did we want to try to do this meeting faster, or is that next meeting?
This week.
That was this one.
Okay.
It's 6:49. We're doing.
No, I think we are. I just didn't hear any mention of it. I just wanted to bring it up, but I'm fine either way.
This meeting, because there's a
Candidate
candidate forum.
Okay.
for city council.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So I wanted to bring these up, these were the goals that everybody kind of
Sorry.
discussed at the last meeting. Bring stakeholders together on 2B City Street sign, we've got to order one more, and then announce them. I think I need to get the resolution, but I'm just talking out loud now. These are the goals, everybody's getting them. we could do a motion to approve and really kind of set them, and then work on accomplishing them for the year.
So,
Yeah, I think the only one on number 2, we just didn't figure out what is the right location for street signs. I think we debated that a little bit.
So when I walked in here last time, the sign looked a lot smaller, and I was thinking, oh, Wilkinson cars are, kind of passing at a good speed, and they may not see it. But then on my way out, I'm like, that's a pretty big sign.
Yeah.
So I think.
So I think we wanted
Anywhere.
one at Stowe Park and then Wilkinson. Is that what we had talked about, those two
What we agreed, yeah, I
locations?
still need to order another sign, so we've got time to discuss placement.
Are there size regulations for what you can put on Wilkinson?
That I don't know. That would be a streets department question. Yes.
Because that
That's
is
just the
pretty big.
standard, Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well, at
just
least they'll be able
standard
to.
size.
Yeah, they would see it, yeah.
In
Sure.
Belmont.
That would definitely be a good spot, I think, yeah.
So I guess for now, we'll say Stowe and Wilkinson. So-
Yep.
Now, being the only southern Belmont representative here, do we want to consider the southern part where people coming in from South Carolina first enter the city limits of Belmont? And,
Like
How
on
much is each
Southport
sign?
Road?
$28.
Can we get 3 signs then?
Sure, I can ask, yeah.
Yeah, if we
Well, I
had
think
one
that's
down on
because it's a
Southport Road.
growing area, the population is increasing, and I'm sure the traffic's going to grow considerably there.
Yeah.
And
they-
I
and
agree.
there is a
That makes sense.
very large Welcome to Belmont sign as you enter and come across the bridge right there.
perfect.
So-
There we go.
Okay.
Resolution, I think we have it.
Yeah, so I mean, for the most part, we feel like we're
Yeah.
already set up to meet all of these goals. Is there anything we want to put in there that is a little bit of a stretch we should be working towards?
I think that map where the city would support community gardens will be our,
Okay.
our stretch item, but I think it's an awesome idea.
And I don't recall that we were held to a specific number of goals, right? Just to have goals. Okay.
And there wasn't anything else that was called out in in our commitments, I guess, that we have to do. Like, I think the education component, that was one of the only ones around like community engagement, right?
Yeah, just the event.
Yep. Anyone have any concerns or edits? Do we need to formally adopt those as the goals? Okay. So then, do I have a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
So this, we got the contract for the tree ordinance grant update. We've sent it back to the state to finalize, and we are working with the consultant now to kind of build what we want that process to look like. But we do know is that we want to have a steering committee that the consultant group will meet with to talk about the ordinance update. So we're looking for nominations for 2 members from this board, and then we'll get 2 members from planning board, 2 members from city council, 2 residents, 2 builders, 2 developers, that kind of thing. So I'm looking for nominations for 2 members from this board to be on that steering committee. And of course,
So-
everybody will have input because we're going to do community sessions as well.
What kind of consultant is this?
They
How would you
are,
classify him?
Pull it up. It's Davey.
Oh, Davy Tree Service?
Davey Tree.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Um,
I didn't realize they did consulting.
They do ordinance consulting.
Oh, really?
So what we've been working on contract-wise with them is that they're going to send in, they've got some people out of Raleigh that'll come in, and we're going to take them on a tour to talk about the developments that have used the current ordinance as what they have to go by. So they're going to analyze what our ordinance is looking like now, what its effects are, if it's working, if it's not, where it can be strengthened, if it's too strong, that kind of thing. And then they're going to do 2, I guess, like community workshops where we get input from residents, and we have the steering committee, and then they'll present their findings to city council. And then they'll go back and redo a draft ordinance, and then come back and present that ordinance, and then hopefully go for adoption. It'll need a recommendation from this board, from planning board, and then adoption ultimately by council.
Okay.
And that also has some educational pieces built in with it, with working with the high school, and I think the middle school, and the elementary school. So, yeah, it's part of the.
So Jamie, as a consultant, I'd be happy to work with our consultant. And I'm familiar with Vitry as well,
Yeah.
if the board agrees.
How much of a time commitment do you think that'd be?
That I don't know. I mean, they'll only be here twice.
Okay.
I just don't know what days those are going to be, and when they're here, that's when they'll be doing the committee meeting.
Did we pick the, out of the 3 bidders, and it's Vitry? Okay, and
Yeah,
that was done by,
That was done by staff.
Okay.
Staff chose them based on the proposals that we received.
yeah, good deal. Yeah, I mean, I could be part of that too, and I know last time I brought up, having a couple other groups. I think it was recycling, tree, and energy. Were those the 3?
Those are the subcommittees that we
Those are the
talked about.
subcommittees, so maybe, yeah, this will be the tree.
Good start, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we need a formal, I guess, just to,
A formal nomination?
yeah.
Yeah, so who is most passionate about this?
Yeah.
I guess relative to other potential
Yeah.
committees and topics.
What are the committees? Others?
That's still to be determined. So we haven't,
Yeah,
we
it could
haven't
definitely
really
be massaged a little bit, but
formalized.
we're thinking like garbage and recycling, and then tree planting, gardening is 2, and then energy would be 3.
Okay.
And then,
Well,
yeah.
I'm definitely passionate about the tree planting and garden aspect, so, fine
And this
for
seems like it'd be like a little commitment of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it'd be a big commitment to work
I
with
wouldn't
Davy,
think so.
Vitry.
So they'd be here 2 times in the next year, and it would just be meeting with them during those times. And then if we have once we get the draft ordinance, we would send it out to that steering committee for review and comments.
Okay.
And of course, you all would see it too.
So at most, it's probably just a couple hours a month of commitment.
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Okay, so I'll nominate Doug for, no, not Doug, Robert.
Robert.
Sorry. We got it.
Okay, we need 2, correct?
I'll second him, or did you want to be the second one?
I'm totally fine with that. If you have something else that you're more passionate about, like recycling or...
Or
You
energy?
were speaking pretty strongly on that the last time. I'm totally fine.
Yeah, it's funny, I'm an energy person, but yeah, no, I do. I am pretty passionate about recycling.
Yeah. And I'm totally fine too.
Yeah, take the
that
tree,
spot.
please, yeah.
And so you got
Okay.
second, so all in favor.
Aye.
Okay, there we go.
Awesome.
Just let me know next steps.
Will do. The recycling, right, I just wanted to give some updates. I don't have a bunch, but we talked about moving the recycling information to under How Do I. So now if you go to How Do I, Recycle in Belmont, you come up to this page. So that was really,
And that page is, that graphic is updated based on what Waste Pro told us?
yes.
Okay.
And specific to Belmont only. So if you've got friends in other cities that are like, we don't do that, we do it. Belmont does it.
Excellent.
And then, of course, we'll build on recycling with a recycling committee, and we talked a lot about the things that we can do easy with schools, which are creating posters that we distribute, all that good stuff. Another website update, sorry, this goes back to the Bee City stuff. One of the goals was to create a Bee City specific website. So Bee City USA is under the Environmental Sustainability Board.
All
So we
right.
have our Bee City USA. I'm not losing my mind. The resolution is on there. I was like, no, I've seen it. Okay. So we've reached the goal already.
No, that's awesome.
Excellent.
This, both this and the recycling looks really good.
And then the strategic planning, so I was telling members earlier, we wanted to get Adrian, who's the city manager, and Shelley, who's my boss, planning director, to kind of come in and talk about this board's goals and the direction of what they want, and where this board can help city council. Because of the forum tonight, it's a little tight on schedules, but they are looking to come to the next meeting. I believe we haven't changed the date or anything. It's November 13th. That's really the only update I have for strategic planning. I don't know if anyone had like an epiphany of what they want their subcommittees to look like, other than what we were just talking about.
I think that's a good start.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe at first the people volunteering to join might be a little slow until we get the word out a little bit.
Can you repeat the ones that you said? It's trees.
Yeah, it was
Waste.
recycling, recycling and waste, and then trees, gardening, and then energy. Those are the three.
I definitely remember energy.
And I was supposed to put out a post, and I was writing it, and it was about plastic bags. I felt like that was the most important
Yes.
one. And I was thinking about where I was going to put it, and then I was looking on the web, just like other things, and then how you can reuse plastic bags, and then this whole list, and then my post that was supposed to be 2 lines got really large. And then I'm like, okay, so I'm sorry for not sending it out, but I'll send it out in the next couple of days, and it'll be just a couple lines. I think I'm going to say, well, first I think there needs to be like some sort of introduction. We're going to be doing this from time to time, and then after that, just say, well, this is my first post, and it'll be, don't put plastic bags here because of this, and now here's a link for other things you can do with your plastic bags.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's going to be.
Now that's supposed to Facebook?
So I'm going to post that on Nextdoor, and I'll post it probably on Facebook. I think that's something that across the board, across the country, people aren't supposed to do, so that's fine. But I was looking at other things that we only do for our garbage service or our waste service that people won't do, so I'm like, all right, then maybe not post all of these, because then that'll confuse people. That's what we don't want to do. So I think that it'll take a little bit of thinking before posting it across Facebook. Keeping it on Nextdoor, keeping it local.
So then I can definitely post that on like Instagram or something at some point, and we can, I don't know, we had emailed the people in charge of announcements to maybe get something going, and they still haven't responded, so we might have to go talk to the teacher in charge. So, I'm not sure for getting it in this.
Yeah.
That's the kind of attitude we like.
I'm sorry, the third was energy, is that right?
Correct.
So yeah, I'd like the idea of keeping this as a standing item that we keep discussing every week, or wow, losing my mind. Who wants to meet every week?
We can meet every week.
Jamie.
Does anybody have anything else for strategic?
No.
So the other thing, the code of conduct, I know I need to get you one and Sharon one. The code of conduct, I didn't bring any today. It's basically, city council's asking that all board members and staff adhere to like this code of conduct for city representatives. So I'll email it to the members who weren't here last week.
Okay.
So just to clarify, as we think about these committees, I see environmental and sustainability issues in every one of these. I mean, it kind of cuts across all 4 of these, and so that's probably something to at least think about and be explicit about, is that, not one committee will deal with sustainability by itself, but really, it seems like all 4 will have a sustainability element in dealing with the environment. Just in keeping with the name and the mission of the board here. I hope others see it that way.
Oh, definitely.
Completely.
Quick question on the recycling. I can't remember where we left off with, a lot of people have submitted kind of frequently asked questions to Waste Pro. Is that part of what's posted now?
Yes, that
Okay.
is on this page. We did a frequently asked questions, and all the questions that y'all put together on that one document.
We actually got answers.
Yes.
Okay,
That was a
awesome.
long meeting. Yes, we have all the answers on here, and I bolded the ones that are kind of like, come on.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Was somebody gonna help us do something with the design of the page?
You don't think that looks nice?
Is there any search bar?
Is there any what?
Like a search bar to get to
No,
those?
we have Control F.
So you can search it.
Yes.
That's good.
We are hoping to get a new updated website with new branding that the city is going through. They interviewed some branding consultants and companies. And once we get to the next step of that, which is hiring one and getting our branding, then that'll come with a new website and redo, and
Okay.
that'd be a great option.
Maybe that's what I was thinking.
That would be awesome. I'm sure it can be put in there, but I
Yeah.
just don't know how to do it.
And
It
for
looks
those
great, but-
posts, could we make like a Google Doc or something and then go ahead and start planning out what we're gonna post when?
Yeah, that'd
That
be
way
great.
anyone can just add
Yeah.
to it?
Yeah,
Oh.
if you just have an idea
I can
or
go ahead and
something.
make one if that, and share it with everyone, or
Perfect.
like email it. Yeah. So nice.
All right, so unless anyone has anything else,
We are efficient.
we are ready
Good job, board.
to look at us.
There's a switch under your table, you just flip it.
That's the recording one.
That is the microphones.
Yeah, turn those off.
Well, I almost had my wife talked into coming and listening to the
And
meeting.
sitting in.
But she wanted to listen to the candidates too. but-
Instead of us?
What do you mean?